Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to break down some massive AI news. Anthropic just dropped Claude Opus 4.7, and we're going to uncover exactly what this release means for developers, AI agents, and honestly, the whole future of coding.
All right, let's just cut right to the chase and answer the biggest question developers are asking right out of the gate. What exactly did Anthropic ship here? Well, Opus 4.7 is technically a targeted upgrade over Opus 4.6. It's really laser focused on fundamentally advancing software engineering and multimodality. This is not just some minor bug fix patch. It's a complete overhaul of how the model handles those really complex asynchronous workflows.
And honestly, the results speak for themselves. Just look at this number. Anthropic shipped a model that hit a massive 64.3% on the SWE-bench Verified evaluation. Now, if you're not super familiar with that one, this benchmark basically measures an AI's ability to resolve real, messy GitHub issues. We're talking writing code, running tests, iterating, entirely without human handholding. With this 64.3% score, Opus 4.7 literally reclaims the absolute lead for autonomous agentic coding among all publicly available models. And, this isn't just some theoretical benchmark flex on paper. Real-world partners are seeing it right now. Scott Wu, the CEO over at Devon, the AI software engineering platform, reported that Opus 4.7 is working coherently for hours at a time. It doesn't just throw its hands up and quit or start hallucinating wildly when things get tough. It actually pushes through hard problems. We're officially moving past the era of the AI assistant and firmly stepping into the era of the long-running AI coworker. So, here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll officially meet Opus 4.7, check out its massive vision upgrade, dive into the new xhigh effort tier, look at agentic controls, touch on some deliberate safety safeguards, and wrap up with a quick developer migration guide. Section 1. Meet Claude Opus 4.7, a coding powerhouse. So as of its general availability on June 6, 2026, Opus 4.7 is live across all cloud products and the API. The core focus here is that massive boost to complex async workflows we talked about. The model is paying incredibly precise attention to instructions now, and crucially, it's devising ways to verify its own outputs before it ever reports back to you. It's essentially a direct upgrade over 4.6, built specifically to be a thorough, consistent partner for your absolute hardest tasks. Moving right along to Section 2, a huge leap in vision, seen clearly now. Okay, let's pivot from raw coding logic to what the model can actually see. Opus 4.7 completely rewrites the rules for multi-model input. Previous Claude models maxed out at around 1,568 pixels on the long edge, which is under one single megapixel. Opus 4.7, though, accepts images up to 2,576 pixels on the long edge. That's about 3.75 megapixels. That is more than triple the visual resolution of previous models. So Claude literally sees clearer now than a lot of early digital cameras did. So why does that matter? Well, if you're building computer use agents that have to navigate an operating system or tools that extract data from super complex diagrams, low resolution was a massive bottleneck. Just look at the data from Expo, an autonomous penetration testing firm. When they upgraded their computer use agents from Opus 4.6 to 4.7, their success rate on their visual acuity benchmark skyrocketed. I mean, it went from a basic coin flip of 54.5% straight up to a near-perfect 98.5%. That is a total game changer for UI automation. Next up, Section 3, the new xhigh effort tier, smarter reasoning. To give developers way more control over how hard the model thinks, Anthropic has completely recalibrated its effort levels. They've introduced a brand new tier called xhigh, which stands for extra high, and you can kind of see how it sits right between the high and max reasoning tiers. Max effort is amazing for sure, but it eats up a ton of tokens and can honestly lead to overthinking sometimes. So xhigh is designed to be this new sweet spot. You get the deep reasoning you need for hard coding problems, but without the runaway latency of cranking it all the way to maximum. They're actually so confident in this new tier that it's already the default setting for all users of Claude Code. If you're an API consumer building coding agents, Anthropic explicitly recommends starting your tests at high or xhigh. Just a quick heads up though, if you spent a bunch of time carefully tuning your prompts around Opus 4.6's high effort behavior, you're going to want to reevaluate those. The model is doing a lot more reasoning per request by default now. Which brings us to Section 4, Agentic Controls and Task Budgets. Managing all this autonomy. Look, if we're giving these models the autonomy to think and code for hours on end, we absolutely need new ways to manage them. Enter task budgets in the API beta.
Before, you just set a hard limit, right? A max tokens cap, and the model would just abruptly hit a brick wall and cut off mid-sentence when it ran out. A task budget is entirely different. It acts as an advisory token cap. The model actually sees a running countdown of its budget, and it uses that awareness to pace its multi-step work, prioritize its tool calls, and finish gracefully before the budget hits zero. It's so much smarter.
All right, Section 5, Deliberate Cyber and Safety Safeguards. Safety first.
Now, I want to address one specific benchmark where the score actually went down. Yeah, you heard me. Across almost every single benchmark, Opus 4.7 showed massive gains. But on the cybersecurity vulnerability reproduction score, it dropped slightly from 73.8% down to 73.1%, a negative 0.7% dip. But don't panic, Anthropic has made it super clear. This is not a capability regression. It is a deliberate trade-off because of active filtering. Under a new initiative called Project Glasswing, Anthropic is basically using Opus 4.7 as a testing ground. They're testing real-time safeguards that automatically detect and block high-risk cybersecurity requests, and they want to perfect them here before deploying them to their even more powerful invite-only Mythos model. If you are a legitimate security professional doing penetration testing, you can just apply to the cyber verification program to get unfiltered access. But for everyone else, the model is just playing it a little safer. Finally, Section 6, the Developer Migration Guide. Let's talk upgrade steps. Okay, brass tacks time. What do you actually need to change in your codebase today? First off, the absolute best news, Opus 4.7 costs exactly the same as Opus 4.6. Your base pricing is still $5 per million input tokens and $25 per million output tokens. You're getting a vastly smarter, higher resolution model for literally zero extra cost. But catch your breath, because there are a few breaking API changes you really need to be aware of so your app doesn't crash. First, if you pass sampling parameters like temperature, top_p, or top_k, the API will straight up reject your request with a 400 error. You have to delete those entirely. Second, manual extended thinking blocks are rejected now. You have to switch to adaptive thinking. Third, Opus 4.7 uses a brand new, smarter tokenizer. That means your text can map to up to 35% more tokens. So you'll definitely need to rebudget those token caps. And lastly, the raw thinking content stream is hidden by default to save space. You'll have to explicitly opt in if your UI needs to display it. So, if you're migrating today, here is your quick 4-step checklist. Step 1, swap your model ID to Claude-Opus 4.7. Step 2, strip out any temperature or top P sampling parameters from your API calls. Step 3, implement adaptive thinking and set your effort level to xhigh for those agentic tasks. And Step 4, recalibrate your max_tokens limits and task budgets to account for that new tokenizer and those higher resolution images. Honestly, just follow those 4 straightforward steps and you'll be running Anthropic's most powerful coding model flawlessly. So as Opus 4.7 proves that true long-horizon autonomy is actually here right now, where models don't just answer quick questions but actually work alongside us for hours at a time, it leaves us with a pretty wild question about the future of our daily workflows. We are definitely moving out of the chatbot era. So with models now capable of sustained autonomous reasoning, are you ready to shift from just prompting an AI to managing an entire parallel team of them? Think about that as you update your API keys today. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy coding!